Hey, John.
Hey, Gavin. How's Silly Vegas?
Hey, everybody. How are you all today? Little bit of a different news show today in that we are in the field on location, bringing you more because we want to give you more.
Yes, and here's the story. So I went out and showed property on Friday for the first time in, quite honestly, Gavin, a long time.
Okay.
And it was dreadful. We saw 8 houses, and these are all priced between $1.5 and $2 million. Of the 8 listings we saw, 5 of them were on lockbox. 1 of them was a disastrous showing, and 2 of the showings were good. And I called Gavin to complain about it, and I wanted it to kind of get out in the field, and Gavin's honestly the master at showing houses, and kind of let you guys see exactly how he does that.
Well, and to that point, my response was very similar to John's, because I showed a house at $2 million on Friday and was just given instructions to open the door and make sure I turn the lights on when I leave. That's no way to show a house in this kind of price range. We have an example for you because we're in a house that is listed at $2.75 million. Under no circumstances should this house ever be on a lockbox.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would say north of $1 million, you shouldn't be on lockbox. If you're making $30,000, show up. I mean, when I was out in the field, I got a phone call from somebody to tell me, oh, I saw you went through the lockbox. Let me tell you how to turn on the waterfalls so you can show your client. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
You need to be there.
You need to be there. I mean, right now, especially, remember, it's a dead even buyer-seller's market. So you've got to compete with other people and really make that work.
No, and one of my big things that I've talked to clients about when you are there, even if the agent is with a different buyer and it's not your own buyer, you can talk about what those buyers' needs are. You might have another listing coming. You can't tell that buyer about that listing coming from a lockbox. There's no way of doing it. So what you do when you get to a house, when you're getting it ready, all the lights are on. Have the house show in its best possible light. I like to do booties at a front door. Even if a seller doesn't require shoes off at a listing, it sends out a really good signal to the buyer that this is a really clean house, it's been taken care of, and therefore we're requiring booties when you get there. I think flyers are extremely important. We have our own print shop. We can produce those things for you. We can make changes to those things for you accordingly. Mm-hmm. So these are all the things that matter on a showing. Open doors.
Well, I'm going to talk about 2 things. So number 1, if you are not at least 50 minutes early, you're late because the buyer's agent could be running ahead and could be right on time. The house needs to be ready to go when they show up.
Absolutely.
And also, as far as having those really high-end brochures, you have got to default to the lowest common denominator of our industry, unfortunately. Assume the buyer's agent literally went in and printed out a bunch of black and white T-sheets for their client and they're handing it. If you want your listing to stand out in any price point, make sure the buyer gets a full color, solid, good brochure in their hand before they leave. Because at the end of the day, when they're trying to think about everything they saw, man, that's going to stand out against all those crappy T-sheets.
Absolutely, 100% correct. And then talk about the house. Walk the buyer through the house. Time and time again, even when an agent has shown up with me, they've stood at the doorway on their phone, texting around and looked up and said, hey, just let me know if you've got any questions. That is not the way to show a house. You're walking through the house, you're talking about the great things, and sometimes if something isn't so great, you're kind of moving away from it. I don't know if you have a house that's on a really busy road. Make sure that you're showing it at a time which it's not so busy outside, or B, when you've got door closed,
etc. Or the fountains are on the pool.
Sure, absolutely.
The fountains are wide open on the pool.
Another great way to do those kind of things. So you're showing a property in its best light. If you are not on lockbox, you have the control as to when you're showing the house, and therefore you're not going to be showing the house at the worst possible time of day, whether it's sunlight, whether it's traffic, or anything else like that.
Okay, well, let's walk through and have Gavin show us a house.
Absolutely. Come on through. We're going to start at the beginning. Hi, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you, Gavin?
Very well indeed.
Good to see you. Good
Absolutely.
To see you. How are you?
Come on in.
Okay.
Obviously, you know a little bit about the house, but let's come through and give you a tour. I've got a brochure for you here.
Thank you. All right, stop. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is, Gavin looks great. He dressed the part for the house. One of the showings I went to last week, I showed up and the lady looked like she just got done working a Beanie Baby table at a freaking swap meet. Get dressed up to represent your homes. Present yourself well, greet everybody nice, have brochures right when they walk in, get them in their hands. Let's go.
On we go. So coming through, we've got a lovely courtyard. And one of the things I love about the courtyard is privacy from the street. You've got a solid front door here. There's a lot of houses where you can see straight through the street. There is a fantastic casita back here, which we're going to get to at the end of the tour. Let's head on in and check out this property.
All right, stop. Why did he just bypass the casita and head right in? It's really simple, because the inside of the house is going to wow way more than the casita. And the casita is nice, but it's probably not going to wow anybody. So you want to kind of bring that emotion up as quick as you can when they walk in the house. That's why you did that, right?
Absolutely,
okay, cool.
100%.
So there we go. All right, there we go.
As we come on through,
booties,
what
if you
I'd
want.
like to do is for you to put booties on there. You can always sit down here and grab one, or can stand up and do a little bit of yoga practice to get those on. But we do like to have yoga. We do like to have booties on in the house.
We're going to skip the booties.
We're going to skip the booties. Come on in. So we come on in, we can see there's a fantastic great room. Nice open floor plan, which is really the style that people are looking for at the moment. You've got a great view of the mountains, lots and lots of greenery, so you don't have people staring in at the back of you. But it's also elevated, so there's great privacy. Coming on through, lovely family room area here, and then there's formal dining. This could be switched out if you don't want formal dining and make this into another additional family space here. Much more importantly, you've got this lovely big kitchen, top of the line appliances all the way through, got a fantastic island in the middle with cooktop, and then tons of counter space with an enormous pantry back here. Oh yeah, and there's a great door that takes you through back into the courtyard for a wonderful outdoor breakfast experience that's nice and shaded from the wind and some of the elements. Let's head on through to the rest of the house.
Okay, stop real quick. One of the things he was doing, he's talking about the breakfast element because he's trying to project people from standing here looking at houses into actually living here. If he presents scenarios for each room that they can see themselves living in. I always like to talk about entertainment. Like when you have a party, you do this. Everybody fancies themselves that they're going to have these wonderful parties when they move into their new house. They're probably never going to do it or not do it, but they like to think they're going to do it. So talk about, man, all your friends can gather here. When you guys have a party, it creates great circular motion around here. That's what he was just trying to do, was create that emotion to this kitchen.
Absolutely.
Moving on.
We're going to head on through. We're going to head to the primary bedroom. Great separation with the primary bedroom. You'll see that it comes off from where all of the other living areas are. Do you want me to
And
start?
after some technical difficulties of Stu breaking something, off we go.
So,
Gavin, how would you handle it? Real quick while we're talking about it. If at a listing presentation somebody walks through and somebody broke something, how would you handle that? Because it just happened.
Obviously, I'm just going to say, well, you've broken it, you buy it, and here's a contract, and let's move on and get this thing closed.
Yeah,
that would be my reaction. What about yours?
I like you break it, you bought it.
Break
I love
it, you
it.
buy it.
I love
That's
it.
the
Okay,
rule.
moving on.
Moving on, off we go.
Watch the table, Stu.
So this house has fantastic separation from the primary bedroom to the secondary bedrooms to the main living area. Very, very important because you get a bit of peace and quiet in the primary bedroom. So coming through, you'll see the primary has this lovely sitting area. Some people like to have television separate from the main sleeping area. So this has a wonderful separation, bookshelf over here, overlooking the pool with the view again. So really, really stands out. Bamboo floors, which really are very, very durable, don't mark up with pets, things like that. Everything in the house has been freshly painted. You've got this wonderful primary suite, again with the patio doors going out to the pool area and lots of view opportunities that way. Coming through to the master bathroom, this room has been very recently remodeled. You've got a great standalone tub here, wonderful cabinetry, 2 closets, his and hers, his and his, hers and hers, whichever way you want to do them. Big, big shower. Again, that's just been remodeled, and you've got these completely separate sink areas with a separate vanity as well. All in all, a really, really usable space.
Okay, I want to talk about something, and let's go back this way. So back up, don't tip anything over, Stu. So real quick, this house has been professionally staged. It was pretty much vacant when you got here, except for a couple pieces. Hopefully not just wood just broke. But if you don't have staging as part of your repertoire in the high end, this is staging. What's the cost for this?
It's about $2,000 a month. And I will talk to that.
Is the client paying it or are you paying it?
The client is paying it,
Client's
absolutely. Paying it. And there's a couple of things that we did when we took this listing. It really needed painting. It was an older house. There was different colors. There was greens, there was purples, there was all sorts of different things. And I said, we've got to get my painter in here. And I've got my painter on speed dial. And we painted Gavin Ernstone white, because this is the white that I use in every single one of my listings. And we painted the whole house white. Really brightens it up, makes the house feel bigger, fresher, fresh paint all the way through.
Because you have to remember too, the key to really presenting a good listing is people have to be able to see themselves in the listing and not whoever's living there currently. If you have, and of course it's take the photos down, it's take down in religious artifacts, but if you have really dramatic paint and really crazy paint, go back to a simple palette. It's going to make it a lot more easier for them to see what they can do.
Absolutely. And one other thing, the floor on this house is a little bit of an older style in the slate. So one of the things that I said to my stager was, please, let's do lots of big rugs and let's break that up a bit, because without all of those things, it's really, really overpowering. And these are easy things to do. And your clients want you to do that. They want those suggestions. They're not going to do it on their own, and it makes the house more sellable.
Make it easy for them.
Absolutely. You've got a powder bath over here that services the main living space. Great opportunities for art all the way through. I really like this wall. You've got a lovely big laundry room just here coming through. There's a separate entryway, which is handy if you've got people coming in the house. If you've got kids, they don't come through the main house. They've got their own door from the courtyard here. So it still has the safety of not being out on the street, but a really, really good room.
I'm going to stop you right there because I want to point something out too. Anytime I have a separate entrance for a house somewhere like this, I always point in when people come in from out of town. Because again, people, especially moving to Vegas, are doing it because they assume everybody they know is going to come visit them here. So you say when you have out of town guests and they want to go to the Strip and stay out till 2 o'clock in the morning and you're over it, they can come in this door and will not bother you.
Absolutely. And this is where they're going to be sleeping, straight over here. One of the lovely things with this home, all of the bedrooms have their own bathrooms, have their own good sized walk-in closets.
Ensuite.
Ensuite indeed. So lovely space. I didn't paint this room. I didn't mind the wallpaper at all. And I think it all went well. And this bed is actually built in, though we had my stager do some bedding in this space, really just to freshen up a little bit, and a couple of other pieces. But yeah, what a great room. Again, nice size for anybody in the family, and great walk-in closets. So house has 3 bedrooms, 3,400 square feet in the house, with about a 600 square foot casita that takes you to just under 4,000 square feet with 4 bedrooms total. Final bedroom, again, just a good size space with a nice size walk-in closet and a nice size bathroom over in the back.
I want to ask a question real quick, which is this. Gavin, let's assume you wanted to redo this bathroom. How much would that cost?
Hard to tell, but probably somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000. I'd seen on another floor plan of somebody knocking the bathroom all the way through and taking the space behind it as a closet, which was actually a great way to do. And that had cost them about $15,000. So probably a little bit of a range depending what you're doing, minimum about $5,000 up to about 15.
All right, the point that I was trying to make there is no house is perfect, right? And these houses there's a lot of dumpsters in the ridges now when people buy homes. A lot of things get flipped. So when you're dealing with things like slate floors, older showers, you need to know how much it's going to cost to redo this. So if anybody poses that question or brings it up as a negative, you can immediately counter that with, oh, well, you can redo this flooring for X amount of dollars. Oh, you can do this for this. Don't make them have to figure it out. Just have that information for them readily available.
Absolutely correct. And the other thing is that this house is priced with a remodel in mind. The stuff in this neighborhood is selling for $750,000 to $1 million more, completely remodeled. So we've taken that into consideration, and that's something we can certainly talk about when we're walking through the house.
Okay.
On we go. 3-car garage over here, and it's an oversized 3-car garage. One of the things with tract homes is they can be really narrow. This is a really nice sized space. There's also tankless water heaters because the seller decided to change the original big 60-gallon tanks into tankless on this house. No risk of them bursting all over the floor and causing you a lot of heartache. So that's it for the main home. We're going to nip out to the backyard area, and then we go to the casita. So beautiful backyard in this house, north facing, so you don't get any of the direct sunlight on the back of the home. It's also got a lovely view of the mountains, lots of green space, and we're really elevated, probably about 30 or 40 feet above the road. And this is a 25-mile-an-hour maximum road, and it's an internal road in the ridges, so not much issue as far as traffic's concerned. The walking path is all the way over on the other side, so you've got really lovely privacy, nobody looking in the back. This is a single story only community, so there's no two stories anywhere. There's nobody looking into you. In your pool, great little pool, lovely barbecue space back here, and really, really conducive to outdoor entertaining, just having fun, all of those things that these houses are all about.
All right, cool. One of the cool things he said there, if in case you missed it, he said it fast, was when he talked about the house being north facing, because a lot of people like sun on their backyard all day with that east to west sun. Also, he took the negative, which is that street down there, and he said, oh, don't focus on the street, focus on the views of the mountains up here. So again, steering away from the negative and staying with the positive. Let's go see the casita.
You got it. Let's head that way. Lastly, we've got this fantastic casita. Casita on its own is about 600 square feet. It's got its own kitchenette over here, so it makes a really good guest area, mother-in-law suite, live-in housekeeper, all of those things that you can use this separate space for. It's got a very, very large walk-in closet back here, and again, a nice sized bathroom. So really a well self-contained unit. Everything connects with the courtyard in the middle, so if you are having guests over, again, we can meet, have a cup of coffee in the morning, right in the middle. It's really, really conducive for good family living. So there we are. Great house. Feel free to wander around, enjoy, and tell me what you think. Give me your feedback.
Okay, stop. This is really crucial. At the end of the showing, you want them to go back in the house and wander around with the other agent, and you want to be as far away from them as possible. Do not be lingering in the kitchen. I mean, go outside, get away from them, because you want them to feel free to have a good conversation with their agent or whoever else they're with about what it would be like to live in this house.
Absolutely.
The better that conversation, the higher the probability something's going to happen, right?
Absolutely. And it's the reason that we don't want sellers showing houses themselves.
Absolutely.
And being in there.
Oh,
it's
good.
the same thing. They want to talk about it, whether it's good or bad.
No.
Either way, we don't want to be hovering over
God.
them and overselling a house. And there's definitely a limit to that.
The answer is absolutely no when it comes to the seller being at the showing. No.
absolutely.
No. Just no. Just no.
Just no.
Just no.
Just no.
All right, cool. Guys, I hope that helped you. This is the standard that we're simply Vegas, man.
Absolutely.
This is the standard. Let everybody else be crappy at their job. We want to be great at it. And this is the standard we set. So thank you, Gavin, for doing this today.
My pleasure.
All right.
And let me know about the house Stu's buying it because he broke it. And there we go.
You broke it, you bought it.
Up. You can represent him.
I got to check his credit.
Absolutely. Cheers, guys.
See you next time.
Have a great week.